today we're talking about a subject that is in the news a lot lately, and a very important subject, the Epstein List, and just the case in general. And before we get started, I just want to say that this connects to an organization that's near and dear to my heart, Safe Embrace. We're advocates for those who have suffered domestic violence, sexual trafficking, all of that. And that's pretty much the core topic of today. Mm-hmm. So with that, I guess we'll jump in.
Yeah, so I think trigger warning is necessary for this. So
thank you.
If you're sensitive to the discussions of sexual violence, sexual trafficking, things like that, you may need to just prepare yourself or not watch this video,
which is completely understandable.
Yep.
And so whatever works for you. And also, as always, these are just our opinions, and we, get our information from sources. So it's informed opinions, but it is opinion.
Yep. And on the topic of sex trafficking victims, she was talking about Safe Embrace. So they provide numerous resources. So if you have experienced sex trafficking, or you know somebody who's experienced sex trafficking, contact Safe Embrace, and they provide shelter. They're well connected to legal services and many more things.
And you can find them online, and which is really great is that there's an escape button on it, because a lot of times, people are still living with their abusers. So if you're looking at it and, it's not safe, there's a quick escape. It'll take you to the Google page. But also their phone number, if you need it, is 775-322-3466. And that is Safe Embrace.
Okay.
All right.
So let's dive into it. Do you want to go ahead and introduce us to this topic?
Oh, gosh, where do we start?
Okay, so what's in the news right now?
Well, so for years and years and years, we've heard about a list. And from everything I've read about Jeffrey Epstein, he kept lists. He kept information for blackmail because, he was a criminal, and that's what criminals do. And so we'll probably start there and kind of talk about that. It's caused a huge stir, if you've been paying attention. The current administration ran on, we'll release the Epstein files, and, they had connections with influencers who were very excited. In fact, there was they were holding up a binder a few months ago, or because they had gotten some information, but everybody was, waiting for that list. And then suddenly
it no longer exists.
Yeah, it's just, there's no list. And so as, I've heard, and the argument is, and I think rightfully so, is that did this administration dupe everybody and there is no list? Or is there a list and the administration just doesn't want to release it?
There has to be a list.
Yeah, I am personally on the side there.
Right. And okay, so here's my thing, is there is 4,000 transaction records within Jeffrey Epstein's bank account, which surpasses over $1 billion. I just heard about this today. I was listening to a lot of news clips on it. But yeah, so if there are 4,000 different bank transfers that accumulate to over $1 billion, that is 4,000 different people, or 4,000 different connections to something. So that's your list.
Right. And we've all heard of people who are very wealthy who potentially could be. And I will start with Bill Clinton, because I don't know if everyone knows, but I personally am on the left. I'm currently registered Democrat. I'm not trying to get political, but what I'm saying is release it. Take that, excuse my language, but take that fucker down too. So, but there are also, it is speculated there are other people such as Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, Les Wexner, who is owns the Limited and very, all those companies, Victoria's Secrets. He's based in Columbus, Ohio. I went to Ohio State, so he's gave a lot of money to the school. There's a whole scandal with that, with Jim Jordan and the wrestling, but that'll be another topic. So I guess my point is that Wynn, what is his name? The first name of
Steve Wynn.
Steve Wynn. There's just a lot of names that have a lot of money. And so it's not hard to see how, let's face it, 4,000 transactions are a lot, but I mean, they have to be pretty big to equal a billion.
Right.
So
And
there's
so
a lot of really rich
I'll weigh
people.
on the other side just to provide a little bit of, devil's advocate here is that, he also did financing stuff, right? And so
He was a teacher too,
right,
which is
and
concerning
so
to me.
There
But
may be innocent people who have been on these planes that are, connected to just, financial things that they just wanted investor insider
can I
things
ask
like
a follow-up question on that really
Hold
quickly?
on, hold on. But then we think about, okay, so if there are genuinely people there that are just there for financial insights, their name is going to come down with this as well. And so the argument is
but
that
the plane log has been released years ago, and like Trump was on it like 7 times, and others. I'm not just like bashing him, although
right.
it's
And
the current administration. He's the president, so it's relevant.
I've heard a lot of Republicans say that, a lot of people will get on these planes. Like, for example, this is somebody that I just heard this story or excuse today. It was that, oh, my plane broke down. Oh, you're going to New York? Sure, let me get on your plane.
I was going to
private
ask if
jets,
it was
whatever.
going to the island because
No, it was going back to New York. So that's one theory.
back to New York from where?
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying,
They
we need to ask
didn't
some questions here.
say.
Okay.
They did not say. And so they also ran their whole agenda on the news segment that they were on, that this was a liberal-led
Oh, that's
crisis.
the new one. That's right.
Yes.
It's a hoax.
Yes.
That was never a thing until there was no list, and then it was a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand that whole thing. I guess Trump was saying when he was campaigning, but he was president before, so he had, well, what was he? I think Epstein was actually raided and arrested during his administration.
Yes.
So if it truly was a hoax, he should have known it.
Okay,
before now.
Okay, really quick.
Yes.
Okay, can we also talk about the fact that Trump, when Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested and all of that.
Wished her well.
Yes, he wished her well and
and
discussed pardoning her.
Yes. Now it's coming out that he had discussed pardoning, but he was talked out of it because it would be offensive to his base. And it turns out that no list is offensive to the base. So, I guess it doesn't really matter there. And matter of fact, he said, I don't even need you anymore, which is really offensive. I mean.
So, one thing that I think is important here is that I think that there's a commonality between the right and the left that we can all come together on, is that child predatory behaviors are not okay.
Right.
We are all in alignment with you cannot,
Is this the unifying?
Yes.
Is this the unifying issue we all need?
Yes.
Hey, I'll take it.
This is the unifying issue. Is that
we need to be unified because we're the United States.
Is that you cannot sexualize children, you cannot abuse children, and nobody in this country is supportive of that. And I think that this is one thing that everybody, left and right, all agrees on, is release the records, tell everybody who's involved, and let's get down to it. You're not going to abuse children, you're not going to molest children, you're not going to sexually traffic children.
And if you are, you're going to be exposed. The American people are going to know, and they can judge for themselves.
And that's one thing I will say about MAGA, is that they take no bullshit when it comes to children.
And I appreciate that. See, I am open to discussions, and that is one thing that we actually do agree on.
Yeah, MAGA is die hard about release those records. You're not going to molest children. You're not going to traffic children. And a lot, actually every liberal that I know is on the same page as that. So this is a meeting of the minds
universal,
for the first time. Yeah, first time in what was that, 12 years? Yeah.
What do you mean 12 years?
Well, 12 years. Well, what would it be? Since 2015. So 10 years. 10 years since Donald Trump announced his run.
Remember when he looked at that 10-year-old little girl on the escalator? Around that time, I'll be dating her in 10 years. I mean, you judge for yourself. But there are plenty of photos, videos of him with Epstein, and same with his wife, or Donald's wife, Melania. And he made comments publicly. And so you judge for yourself. I have my opinions. You can have yours. You can have yours. But I do agree that that is a unifying issue. And most of us fall on the side of,
you're not going to take advantage of a child.
No.
No. Nobody supports that. Nobody is in line with that. So right now in the news, what they are trying to do is, one, say there is no list. A lot of people are blaming Pam Bondi. And this administration has ran.
And I know I just rolled my eyes, but it's not because I'm rolling it. It's getting blamed on her. But I'm rolling my eyes that a woman would back up a sexual predator because she knows. She knows, you guys. She is the attorney general. She has all the information. And the fact that she backs up this behavior and will fall on the sword, that was the eye roll.
Well, the thing for me is that the Trump administration and all of Trump's supporters are in alignment with the fact that every single director or person that he has put in charge of a department or something like that, they are taking their directives from the President Trump.
That's how our system works.
Right.
Yeah, and there's no independent action going on that's not coming from the top.
Well, I mean, in a lot of other administrations, that's not necessarily true.
The Justice Department is supposed to be independent, correct?
Exactly. And so, but with this administration, everyone knows, and they have made it public and they have made it clear to everybody, is that everybody is falling at the whim of Donald Trump. So if Pam Bondi is getting heat for this issue, the real person that is causing this is going to be Donald Trump. And so that is why all these people are requesting that Pam Bondi be fired and removed from her position. But Donald Trump is steadfast on supporting her.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now. But I guarantee you, if you take a look, women are on the bottom of the totem pole. And, you know my
always
proclivities, I'm left. And I really believe that. And I think that he would throw Pam Bondi under the bus in a minute. I mean, she is loyal as hell. I mean, she licks the boots, right? But if it comes down to it, Pam's out and he'll blame it on her.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a matter of time. Right now, he's supporting her because she is defending him in the things that he wants. And so she is, limiting the scope of the things that she's going to release and all of that. And let's also be clear that the fact that these transcripts are being released, that requires a court order.
The grand jury is being but they've asked for them to be redacted. So what is the freaking point? Is the victims. Absolutely protect the victims. If they want, we've discussed previously that some of them if they want their name released as a way to show that, this is so important that I'm willing to put myself out there to expose this, that's fine. But redact them. I have no problem with that. But they're also requesting a redaction of
everybody.
Yeah, the alleged perpetrators.
So on that.
So what's the point? What's the point of those? I mean, it's just it's smoke and mirrors. Yes. More smoke and mirrors.
That's exactly what it is. It's to feed the base to say, okay, well, we're allowed to release this, so I'll give you this, but I'm going to redact everybody else that's in there. But the thing is that I have heard Republican senators on news clips that talk about yes, redact them because there are innocent victims here, blah, 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 whatever. But I have also listened to interviews with witnesses and victims, and they said, no, release it. Let's be transparent here. Just let it out. So when the Republicans are saying, let's not release it or let's redact everybody's name for the victim's sake, but the victims are saying, no, let it go. Who are they really protecting, right?
And in that vein, they have supported this administration saying there's no list, there's nothing to see here. However, a vote was taken in, I believe, just the House, and it didn't pass, so it didn't go to the Senate, but to pass a law that this gets released, and those same Republicans all voted no. And it was government's complicated. I pay attention and it's still complicated for me, but apparently it was like a voice vote. So it was, it's still on the record, but there was nothing like an official bill or anything. Don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure, but
there is something that's going through right now.
Why are they saying, no, we vote down releasing that and especially, in a redacted form. I don't think that would have been an argument. So it just doesn't make sense.
What's interesting, though, is that the news clip that I watched that had a Republican senator speaking is they talked about pushing forth a bill to release the Epstein records, right? And so the interviewer, the news anchor that was speaking to them said, do you think you're going to have enough votes to push this through, make it a law, blah, blah, blah. And the news anchor had said, well, you know that you're going to get all of the liberal votes. Do you think you'll have enough Republicans? And that was telling to me.
That is telling. That's very telling.
Yes. You know that the liberals are going to vote to release the records.
Right.
But at the same time.
Like them or not, at least they're on the right side of this.
But at the same time, in that same news clip that I watched, that Republican was blaming all of this and the hoax, the big issue. No, but I can look up my YouTube search right now. And
if you know the state, I might know.
Let me look. I'll look in just a second. But he was blaming all of this huge ordeal on the liberals. But the news anchor literally, when they were talking about the bill that they're passing through, it was like, you know that the liberals are going to support this.
Right.
So how is this a liberal issue? How is this created by the liberals?
And especially when the current administration ran on releasing them and exposing the base. I mean, they all thought it would be, just liberals like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, I know he's on there because he was on the flight log that was released. Yeah. So take them all down.
Oh, here it is. Here's the name.
I don't think anybody should be protected, regardless on what side of the political spectrum they fall on. If you're a sex predator, especially of children, release it.
So I don't know for sure if he is. Okay. So Tim Burkett of Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee, guys. Oh.
Tim Burkett of Tennessee. Him and someone else has something that's going through right now about releasing the Epstein records. And even him.
Wait, he's pro or con?
Pro.
Wow, that surprises me because, I'm going to go out and sit on a limb here, but Tennessee's straight up fascist.
No, but the same thing is that.
And I can go deep into that with the local government and all of that if we want. But there we go. There we go. He wants it redacted.
Yes, for the victim's sake, which the victims have said release it.
But what about the perpetrators?
No, he said that there were innocent people on the other side who were just there for financial reasons. Okay, but so
only the woman, because Ghislaine Maxwell gets indicted and is serving.
I heard that Ghislaine Maxwell is the bird. She's the bird that's singing.
I heard too, but here's the thing: if this administration floats a pardon to her, I'm sure she'll gladly shut up to get out of jail. But I agree, she has the goods. And here's the thing: is when his island and his New York,
Hold on, really quick.
Yeah.
Let's just say, what is Epstein Island?
Oh, yeah, Epstein Island. So apparently he owns an island in the Caribbean, I believe. And it was a place where he would fly powerful people. And men, probably women too, I don't know, but mostly men is what we've heard about. Ghislaine, would recruit young women who, by the way, that's come out lately, her and Ivana were tight. We can get into that in a minute. And they would, take children there, and these rich, powerful men would come, and it was a playground for, sexual predators. And so that's the island. And I personally don't think there was any innocent reason to go to that island.
No.
So if anybody's on the flight log going to that island, I don't think it could just be like, oh, I didn't know. I was just going for the pool.
Let's also.
I'm sure it was very nice and
Bill Clinton
posh.
Is on the list, right?
Yeah.
He's flown to Epstein Island. Let's also remember what was a huge ordeal during his administration.
A blowjob.
Yeah, a blowjob. He's having an affair.
That I have no problem with because it was two consenting adults, an affair, whatever. Like, it's not illegal.
However, it also opens you up to okay, he is willing to, 1, cheat on his wife within the Oval Office. 2, he's now on this flight log. Okay, we've heard all of his, predatory type of behaviors. If they were, above the legal age or not. Bill Clinton has a history.
Yeah.
And so let it be known. And let's stop protecting everybody. And
yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, even though I'm a Democrat, I'm not just because someone's a Democrat, then they're just great and innocent and all of that. No, I mean, Bill Clinton did some good things in his presidency, but he did a lot of bad things too. And that's another subject for another day. But when it comes, we all know that he was a philanderer. But when it comes to underage children, I mean, that is where I draw the line. And I mean, get them all in the sweep them all up. You know what I mean?
Okay. So let me ask you this. So Trump ran his presidency on releasing the Epstein List.
Among other things.
Yes. One of the biggest things there was that, and his base is not letting go. They
When
want that.
yeah, he riled them up. They were ferocious. You can't just rile them up like that and then be like, oh, nothing to see here, folks.
Okay, and then so I want to get your opinion on, and let me just preface everything that I want you to consider. Okay. So he ran his latest campaign on this. Okay. At the end of his last administration, he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. He spoke about pardoning her, and then so
Publicly wishing her well, privately pardoning her. Just to clarify.
And then he ran his most recent campaign on releasing the records. All of this said there was a list. There's a list. Blah blah blah. Now there is no longer a list.
Allegedly.
Yes. And there is also a letter from Trump to Epstein. Yes. And so
for his 50th birthday, apparently everyone was asked to write like little special notes.
Ghislaine asked everybody. And the word on the street is that Ghislaine is the person that released that letter. I don't know the truth.
I didn't actually see that letter.
Yeah.
I've seen other doodles. I was actually surprised. Recently, I've seen other doodles apparently that he signs. Apparently he's a doodler.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a fan, and I don't think that's any of him, not of doodling. Doodling's fine.
You can doodle all you want.
Doodle away. But I'm not a fan of him. But based off of my experience of watching him, I think he's kind of an idiot. But I was actually kind of surprised that he could doodle, and because it shows some intelligence and artistic ability. And I mean, he's a better doodler than me, so I was surprised. But it also led credence to the fact that there may actually be unreleased doodle that's pornographic, and it talked about secrets. So apparently he signed his name in the pubic region to make it look like pubic hair. He had done like an outline of a woman or possibly a child, and had said like enigma, something about enigma.
I didn't even
secrets or something like that.
I didn't even know that Trump would know what enigma means.
Me either. So I was like, is this a tell? But then I saw a clip yesterday on some show I was watching, and he was talking. He uses that word. He does use that word. He does know what it means, folks. So,
okay. Back to my question, though.
Yes,
is that with all of that information in front of you, and the fact that Trump is suing the Murdoch family now, who owns Washington Post?
No, that's Bezos. He owns Fox.
Fox, and then who's the news publication that released the letter? Because they're owned by Murdoch.
Released, spoke about it? I never have seen a physical.
I've seen it.
Where?
Yeah,
Pull it up.
I saw it. Okay, you pull it up. But let me finish with my question. Okay, so with all of that, right, he's got this civil lawsuit against these people, the Murdoch family, which he has a lot of connection to and history with. And now they're saying there's no list, blah, blah, blah. And they're releasing the grand jury transcripts redacted. What do you think about that? What do you think that is? What do you think Trump is trying to do by just releasing that and then changing his story?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Okay.
I was looking for the doodle, which I still don't see yet. But
okay, so given the history.
Next time you see it, save it.
Okay, given the history to where he wished her well, okay, he talked about pardoning her in private, ran his latest campaign on releasing the records, and then says there's no list, calls his base stupid for wanting it.
And he doesn't need them.
Yep. And then is suing the Murdoch family for their media company releasing all of this information. But now he's going to release the grand jury testimony redacted though. Okay, what do you think Trump is trying to do, and what do you think he's trying to, what is the whole thing?
I think he's trying to do a Hail Mary, here's some stuff for you guys, but it's not going to be anything informative. It's not going to give anybody the information that they're seeking, and so it's going to fall flat, as most of his schemes do. Although he was elected twice, so you got to give him a little credit for that. But I mean, I think he's buying time. I think he is trying to appease people, not just his base, but everybody release it. We want to see it. And hoping it'll be enough and that everyone will go away. It won't, because especially if it's redacted, that tells us nothing. And it tells us things that happened, but not who was involved.
I think Trump also, too, is trying to get ahead of it in the same time, because he said, this is not going to be enough for people, blah, 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 because he knows that it's not going to be enough, especially with it's redacted. So he makes this comment So that way it seems like he is ahead and predicting everybody's like tell, and that he
But
doesn't.
the American people aren't stupid. He is
Right.
banking on us being stupid. And I will say that he's duped a lot of people, and they're not necessarily stupid. Some of them maybe, but not necessarily. They believed him for whatever reason. But I think he's just banking that. Well, I think it's two things. He's banking that we're stupid and we'll buy it, but that's not going to work for everybody. And I think he's just, it's a Hail Mary. He doesn't know what else to do. And so he's trying to see what works. He's throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks.
Okay, so if we can just go back to Epstein, his history, and what it is that he's doing, and then, we can leave it up to you guys to just, take this
Make
into
your
your own
opinions,
consideration
absolutely.
and figure out what you want to, like what you think. So he alleges that he grew up in Brooklyn.
No, he did.
Well,
Wait, Trump or Epstein?
Epstein.
Epstein grew up in Brooklyn, I believe.
Well, we don't have anything
Look,
about
I
his
found a bunch of
elementary
doodles
school.
but nothing about that particular one about the woman.
I've seen the one that was about the letter.
Was it the actual drawing that he did?
I can't remember. I saw it on a video. Somebody had it. But here's the thing, is that they can remove stuff off of Google.
Right. Well, and here's the thing, too, is that everybody knows that when they raided the island, or in even maybe his place in Palm Beach or New York, there were safes. There were things in the safes. What was in the safe? What do you keep in a safe? Things you don't want people to get. Things you want to keep safe. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it was in there.
Start. Well, let's just go back on Epstein, okay? So he allegedly, we know that he went to high school for sure in Brooklyn, okay? We have people.
He was born in Brooklyn in 1953.
Right. And so we have people who have yearbooks signed by him, all of that. Okay, so he goes to college, right, in Manhattan for math, and he does not complete college. However,
he gets at the Dalton School in Manhattan. He gets a job right away. By who? Who hired him?
Barr.
Donald Barr, Bill Barr's father. And I'm sure you all recall who Bill Barr is.
Right.
Former AG in the first administration.
So, and he didn't have the credentials. He didn't have the experience, nothing. But he became a professor at a college level, was there for a little bit, stopped that job, and then started, he transitioned into finance and was working for Bear Stearns and he was only there for 4 years and became a partner when he had no experience or education in finance at all.
Yeah.
Right?
But we all know how the
he's
rich and powerful work.
jumping. Yeah.
It's who you know, not what you know.
Okay, so one, how does somebody who does not complete college get a job as a professor at a university? And then how does somebody get a job on Wall Street at a prestigious financial company with no history of that? And then following that, he had connections between the Mossad, okay? He had, and then...
Who?
The Mossad. So Saudi Arabia.
Would you call it the Mossad?
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Oh, okay. But so he has connections with them. And then there's a connection between him and Russia and Israel. So Israel wanted the people of Russia who were of Jewish faith to be able to relocate to Israel.
Faith and just homeland.
Yes. He wanted them to be able to relocate there. Israel wanted that. They were pushing for that. Russia initially said, no way. Why would we do that? And then Epstein and somebody else, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, got involved in lobbying for this. And shortly after that, Russia permitted people of the Jewish faith to obtain visas to relocate to Israel. Okay, so...
What years were those?
I think it was the 80s.
Yeah, I'm seeing here he taught physics, actually, which is... I don't know what his credentials are there, but that's a pretty tough subject.
Yeah, I think it was the 80s. Hold on. I have on my phone, I have some transcripts.
So in 1980, he joined Bear Stearns. He was a limited partner.
Yeah.
In 81.
Right.
Wow, that's quick. So how did he, there's gaps missing here. Clearly he knew the rich and powerful and he was able to work his way up, and then he worked, did this sex trafficking, enterprise.
This is the other
did
person
it
that
all
was
happen?
lobbying with Russia, lobbying in Russia for the benefit of Israel.
Who?
His name is Edgar Bonferman Sr.
Mm-hmm.
And so him and Epstein were working together to get Russia to allow their people of Jewish faith to relocate to Israel. And so we have these connections to Saudi Arabia, who also has connections to Kushner, who was the right-hand man.
He's best friends with MBS. Like, they're besties. You know they got each other on speed dial.
And he was also the right-hand man in the first
and we never found out why he got $2 billion. It's not contested that he got $2 billion right before the end of the first administration, but nobody cares to ask why.
You want to know what's interesting too? Speaking of that, is that so Kushner is married to Ivanka, right? And on the election eve or day of election, whatever, Ivanka had said previously she wants nothing to do with politics, but she was so deep in it that first administration.
It was alleged she was supposed to be the heir apparent and be the first woman president.
Right. However,
so
Kushner, her husband, they got what they wanted in that first term. And so on the eve of the election, she posted a birthday post about herself, reflecting on the things that she has learned, because for her, it doesn't matter who becomes president at that point. Even if it's her own father, they've already won. They're fine no matter who wins. And I think that that's a tell of how ingrained Saudi Arabia and Israel are in connection to, one, the United States and what's going on here, and Epstein.
Well, I mean, yeah, Israel and Saudi Arabia, I mean, if we're getting off into that, I mean, with the whole Gaza, strip atrocities that are happening, excuse me, Saudi Arabia, there was, I can't remember exactly, but they pretty much were like, put the brakes on this because Netanyahu and Trump had put out that thing they wanted to do, like Trump Hotel, because apparently Gaza's beautiful, but it's people's homes, that they deserve to exist.
Kushner foreshadowed this, I think, early 2024, mid-2024.
He just spilled the beans.
Yeah, he did. He did. He said,
Saudi Arabia's like, no.
He said we got to displace or move the people of Gaza before we start reconstructing it. So why would he say that before there is any issue in Gaza?
And we all know Netanyahu has been up on corruption charges, which is very interesting, though, because Trump had come out and said, we're not going to do any work with you if you don't drop the charges. And they did. That's so upsetting about how influential he is. But sorry, I digress.
Right. And so now...
But it's just also convoluted and complicated and connected.
So if we come back to Epstein on this, right? And so I had talked about his connection with Saudi Arabia and then Israel and then Russia, right? And so the big thing is that people are saying is that Epstein worked for some foreign government as intelligence. What country do you think he worked for?
Well, either Russia, Saudi Arabia, or Israel. Probably Israel.
I don't think it's Russia. I don't think it's Russia. I do. I do think that it is Russia or it's Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's got the money to buy anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you saw in the first Trump administration, I forget where they were. I don't think it was the UN, but it was some meeting, and it was maybe the G20 or something, where that Putin and MBS had, which is Mohammed bin Salman, who is now the king, who his father, did he die or did he just pass? Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever. But he's like the head guy. And they did like that whole high five and everything. And like, it wasn't lost on us that, because Trump was just giving them whatever they wanted. So, this all has actually opened my eyes. I thought it was all conspiracy theory, that there's like some, greater conspiracy with all these countries. But apparently it seems to be true that there really are,
I think
behind the scenes manipulating things, and we're all just pawns in it.
A big manipulator in our country, which is coming to light this year, is Israel. They have so much control here, which I don't understand. But
I understand it a bit, but Netanyahu is just corrupt as hell, and he's been brought up on corruption charges, as I said, or as I stated earlier, and. They were trying to transform their Supreme Court. Did you see those? They were fire hosing protests. I mean, he's just a bad dude. And then, he got reelected again. And so that the corruption charges were still there, but now they're being I don't know if they were dropped or postponed, but
Who knows?
Israel, people are wonderful, but their leader is, it's like us. I love Americans and we're great people, but our leader's just fucked up right now.
So if this is Epstein in the 80s and the 90s, right? So this is what he's doing. So he's already being connected to, foreign countries, getting involved in their politics. He was also included in an arms deal between another country. Yep, in Europe.
When?
In the 90s, I believe. I can get you a date. I was looking at this earlier.
I know. There's so much we didn't even know. We all know Epstein for his sex trafficking and all of that, which is bad enough. But then when you dig deeper, it's still a mystery because we don't know everything. But it's just odd, these connections.
Let me see. 1987.
Wow.
The British defense contractor Douglas Leese, it was his name. So someone who contracts weapons and technology for the nation's military. It was him who recommended Jeffrey Epstein as a genius with no morals to Stefan
Genius with no
Hosenberg.
morals. My God.
Yep. To Stefan Hosenberg, the CEO of a financial company called Towers Financial. And they connected him and involved him in government works with arms deals and military operations. So how does he go from teaching physics with no college education, right, and then to being a partner at a financial institution on Wall Street, to then being involved in Russian politics?
Yeah, major player on the world stage.
And now he's in Europe doing military and arms deal contract stuff, and then we bring him back to the United States, okay, and he gets investigated for the first time in 2005 by Palm Beach for sexually abusing a 14-year-old girl.
Charged in 2006, and guess who was the prosecutor who charged him, who was in the first administration? Now he's Acosta. What was his first name?
I listened.
It's just crazy. I feel like I'm one of these conspiracy theorists but when you connect the dots, it really does add
When
up.
you connect the dots, it's not.
I think it's Alex Acosta.
No, here's my thing is that I think they use the term conspiracy theory to make everybody's actual reasonable beliefs and the connection of information, the connection of names, everything like that, to
brush you off as a wacko.
Yes, yes. So they use it as.
But when you actually just look at the facts, you're like, this isn't a crazy, thing. And so, when he was arrested in, what's really interesting. So he was arrested in Palm Beach in Florida.
2005. Yeah.
So then Acosta, he had this sweetheart deal where he just had to be in the jail cell at night. But he got to go during the day and do whatever he did his work, whatever that was. But recently I've heard is that Ghislaine Maxwell is appealing her conviction after Trump has come out and said there's no evidence. So her trial was public evidence. We're all busy. We haven't had time to go through it. But there must have been something because she's in jail for 20 years. But also that she's claiming that deal, it was federal. So it was the federal court in Florida said that Epstein nor any of his co-conspirators could be charged. And now New York federal court is like, yeah, we're not bound by that, which I agree. But it's just nuts. And then, of course, Acosta got AG. Was it AG? Secretary of Labor, excuse me.
What's interesting, though, is that this morning I was listening to a deposition of Epstein in that first, arrest and criminal. They were asking him if he was bisexual. They were asking him if he was molested as a child. And so his attorney is objecting to all of this. And so
you still have to answer in a depo, though.
And he even says that, I have been advised not to answer questions that are relevant to this case. Epstein says that.
Well, Fifth Amendment, under Fifth, that's totally legit.
Yep. And so, but it was just so strange.
And I don't know if we've ever explained, and we will later, how that works in a criminal and a civil setting. They're very different. But he is absolutely entitled, or was, he's no longer with us, but
allegedly.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother.
I will go there because I am crazy.
I think he's dead. You don't think he's dead?
No.
Okay, we're skipping ahead. Let's talk about this because I think he's so it's that was district court, right?
State level.
district, or I was thinking,
it
was
was
state.
Yeah,
Well,
it was state level,
I was thinking
and
it was
in
federal.
2005.
Okay.
Yep, Palm Beach. He's arrested and charged with prostitution of a minor, a 14-year-old. And then he gets, some sort of sweetheart deal in 2008. He pled guilty, for procuring a minor for prostitution. He served 13 months with work release. So his sweetheart deal is he just got to come at night, pretty much. And he's not arrested again until July 6, 2019. And he's arrested in New York on federal charges this time of sex trafficking. And 1 month and 4 days later, he allegedly dies by suicide at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in NYC. The medical examiner ruled it a suicide. And so,
however, she's escaping my name now, but his name is escaping me at the moment. But there is a very famous physician who's a pathologist. He's been on a lot of those crime shows, and I saw him on actually Fox News at the time, and he said there is no way this was a hanging. He said something was crushed, and he's like, you can't do that by hanging. And so I've always been of the thought that it was purposeful. I mean, I remember the day clearly when it happened because I'm, very involved in politics, and especially this current administration and when he was his administration before. And I remember I woke up and Jeff's like, did you hear Epstein's dead? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, that was my reaction. And I thought, well, this can't be on the up and up.
Well, and then here's the thing, too, is that, like, even Jeffrey Epstein's brother has talked about there's no way that this was a suicide.
Well, and his attorneys, too, they said he was in good mood, in good spirits, and that they had spoken to him and they were doing strategies for his case. And he was, talking about people and, like, no indication because, I think it's common knowledge that the majority of the time, not always, is that when people are planning to kill themselves, they don't talk about plans that they have coming up.
Right.
And from everybody who was around him, it seemed as if he was fine in the respect of, not suicidal.
Okay, here's my thing, is that have we ever seen footage from that jail or prison, whatever facility it is, from that night at the time that he allegedly committed suicide?
Because there is, at first it was reported there was a minute missing, and now it's come out that there's like almost 3 minutes, like 2 minutes, 58 seconds or something that are missing, and that the metadata has been analyzed and it was altered with some Adobe program. I thought, it just kind of cracked me. I am not technologically savvy at all, and not even Adobe, but I was like, the people who are, I don't know, maybe it's got really good uses, apparently.
Okay, so I have also seen alleged footage from the floor above Epstein of the same time period, everything like that, and it also is missing, I think it's 3 minutes.
What happened?
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but I remember this from the time when it happened, is that he was on, I don't know if it was suicide watch, but there was a guard outside of his cell at all times. He was guarded. And during that time, those guards, for unknown reasons, were not there. So I did see recently, which I have to laugh, is that people are obviously making up little videos and kind of, here's the missing 3 minutes, and there's one of like Hillary in a blue pantsuit, and she's like standing outside, and then she goes in, and I will say that cracks me up. Clearly it's not what happened, but it was pretty funny.
If anybody had reason to kill Epstein,
was Trump. He was the freaking president at the time.
Yes.
And it's no secret that they were very close friends. He said so himself.
Epstein called him his best friend.
Yes. Yep. And that Trump came out either when he was campaigning the first time or after he was elected that he liked women as much as Epstein, and many of them on the younger side. So, I mean, just judge for yourself. What people say things for a reason, and words have meaning. And why would he say that?
Is that if they are under the age of 18, they are not women, they are children.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I agree.
Just need to clarify that.
I appreciate that. And because I am a big fan of...
Because they call them women even if they're 14 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
That and another, and I haven't really heard it in this case, but another thing that drives me absolutely up the wall is that I watch a lot of crime shows, and when someone is raped, they'll say, he had sex with her. He did not have sex with her. He raped her. Say the words. You know, and so in that vein, I agree that no, it was not an underage woman. It was a child.
Yes.
Yeah. Say the words.
Yeah.
This kind of, you know,
that's
whitewashing of it, you know?
That's the
it
thing.
really drives me up the wall.
That's the thing that really pisses me off about, you know, not just this case and not just Trump's involvement, but anytime there is anything involving a woman or a girl, a child, they are, you know, sugarcoating the language that they use. They're downplaying the abuse. And, you know, it's always at the woman's or girl's, child, girl, detriment.
Right.
Always.
And remember, think back to when you were 13. Did you have the maturity and the intellect to process these things? Like, put yourself in that kind of perspective. These are children.
Yep.
And these things that are happening to them are scary. And you just kind of go with authority. You know, because that's what you do as a child. But you're 100% correct. They were children. They were not women. Yep. Although the only person who is currently serving any time for this whole thing is a woman, which isn't lost on me either. And I'm sure not you either. But
she is without a doubt.
She deserves to be there. But I'm yes. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes.
I don't want her released. I want others and the men who are above her and all of that, or at least equal in it, to be with her. And I just think it's bullshit, essentially. Because there are, and to tie back to our last one just for a moment, Diddy, there are plenty of pictures with him and Trump. They were good friends. And I just thought that the two people, well, he wasn't convicted, but he was charged with sex trafficking. The only one incarcerated is a woman, and the only one who charged other than her was an African-American male. And it's just like, to me, I mean, it just...
That's an interesting point really quick, though. Okay, so last episode we talked about Diddy. Now we're talking about Epstein. Something that they have in common. Oh, Donald Trump. That is a message on its own. Okay, he is affiliating himself with people who have sexual proclivities to, you know, like deviance, molestation, rape. Like,
does everyone just think like he was an innocent party in this and like, oh, gee, all my friends were bad? I mean, come on. I mean, there was a lawsuit with a 13-year-old girl, or excuse me, her allegations took place when she was 13, and I forget exactly when the lawsuit was, but she said that she was a virgin, I believe, and he he tied her to the bed, and like when she protested, he like hit her. And like this poor girl was, and she ended up dropping the suit, though. It was a civil suit. Obviously, she can't bring a criminal suit, but because she was scared, because he is a very powerful man. And that's just, it's just heartbreaking to me.
Okay, so
and
Monica believes.
Well, I was going to say, and really quickly, the girl who took down, or the whole scandal with Prince Andrew, she killed herself recently. Something Dufresne, I think.
Yes, right.
I believe she killed herself. Who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised, because just the being so in the public and the judgment, being a woman, like you said, you just get judged harsher. And these embarrassing and painful memories are being discussed everywhere. And so, and who knows? It could have been whatever. I mean, my mind went there too because of all of this, but I wouldn't be surprised. And it's just really sad. And I don't think that should be forgotten, or should be forgotten.
So you think that Epstein is 100% dead?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
I do.
Okay. And so for me, I go back and forth on it.
Tell me about it.
I go back and forth on it because it's just been kind of like, I don't know, it just seems like there's been a lot of secrecy about it. We haven't seen any footage. I don't, from my knowledge, and I'm not saying that there isn't any information about it now, but I've never heard of anybody saying that they've seen his dead body. Like, besides coroners or investigators, right?
Well, I mean, do you not believe them?
It depends.
Because, that one physician I was talking about earlier said he saw the autopsy. He didn't do it.
So he saw the autopsy report,
so that's not, exactly,
right?
That's not
so that's another person.
Who did the autopsy?
So that's another person that has not seen the body, right? Okay, and then so it leaves the door open, is all that I'm saying. Is it leaves the door open where who's seen his body? And
So apparently, allegedly, the autopsy was done by the New York City Chief Medical Examiner Barbara Sampson, and she ruled it a suicide.
Okay, hold on. Let's do a little Barbara Sampson. What do we know about Barbara Sampson?
I don't know anything about Barbara Sampson.
Okay. So, what makes you believe that one physician? Why do you believe him and his
Her.
or her? Oh, see, look at that. That's a bias.
Yes. And I'm worse than you about it because I'm a little older than you, and to this day, every day I always say he first and all of that, because especially when speaking about doctors, and it drives me nuts in myself, and I have to correct myself, but we've just been brainwashed.
Lawyers, judges, everybody assumes that anybody who has a position that's, of authority or education, it's a man. However, statistics now is that women are more educated and more successful than men currently. So, we need to fix that
right? That
inherent
perception.
Bias.
Yes.
Yep. And the perception. But anyways.
Yeah, but it's hard because even as a woman who does not agree with that, it's just ingrained. That's how ingrained it is in our culture. And we've had two super qualified women run for president, and both times a sexual predator got elected over them. We have a problem, America. We are a very misogynistic country. We need to fix that. That's another subject for another day, but we do have a very big problem with that.
Okay, and so Barbara Sampson did the autopsy. Is she the only person that has done an autopsy on Epstein? Is she the only person that has seen that body? That's all I'm saying, is that even the physician that you're speaking about, she saw the autopsy report. She did not see the body.
Well, no, she did that. She did it, though.
No. The woman, the physician that you were talking about. Oh. Not Barbara Sampson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was I talking about?
The physician that went on the...
Barbara Sampson. She did it.
No.
That was a man. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
I got confused there. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
We're good. We're back. Continue.
Okay. So that's my whole thing, is that there's no footage has been released.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nobody has seen the body besides, the medical examiner.
Is it Michael Baden? So it says that Epstein's lawyers hired pathologist Michael Baden to observe the autopsy. Baden later stated that Baden later stated publicly that his findings were more consistent with homicide strangulation than suicide. And I think that might be the guy. I feel like if we showed a picture of him, everybody would know him. He's been on so many of those forensic files and all of that. But let's see if it's... But so I guess he said that well, I mean, that was just a quick little look up, but he may have actually... I don't think he was present. Michael Baden. Yeah, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
You want me to show? I know everybody's seen this.
I've seen that face.
Sorry, just really quickly. I know everybody's seen this face before. He's a very well-known physician. And he stated that...
that guy was actually hired by Epstein's brother. Yes.
So, I think he's dead, but I don't think it was suicide. So I do think he was murdered. And I just think it's so interesting how everybody's like, the Clintons did it, but how would they have gotten... I mean, yes, they're powerful people, but they weren't in the presidency or even in any political role at the time. Like, how would they have gotten access? Wouldn't it be more of who was in the White House at the time, which we all know who that was?
Yeah.
DJT.
Okay, but still. So that's my thing, is that, like, there hasn't been that many people who have seen the body. Right? And there hasn't been...
But think about it. How many people that are high profile or even not, that they die and there's an autopsy, do a lot of people see the body? I'm just playing devil advocate here. So I don't know if that's really like convincing me.
Okay, but we also have to think about the fact that there is a such thing as witness protection. And if the Mossad is connected to Epstein...
We need to explore that. Because I'm a little lost on that. How do you spell Mossad?
Mossad. The Mossad is connected to... Israel's intelligence agency, right?
Which is one of the best in the world.
Right, and he's been connected to them since the 80s. And so, I don't know, like, you can disappear a person and fake a death all the time.
True. Where is he then? Israel? Not very safe there right now.
No. I'm
just saying, like, is he back on his island? Where is he?
He's definitely not back on the island.
Hanging out with his brother?
But I think, I definitely ride the crazy train a lot. I will explore every theory, and I will, I allow it. I allow those thoughts. I entertain those thoughts. I don't let it, sway me 100% on what I believe is fact, but I'll entertain it. I like to ride
though, you don't think he's dead.
If
he's not dead, where
I question.
You just don't know. Okay, and that's fair. Let's see where he's allegedly buried.
But I encourage everybody to make their own.
Is he in Bedminster with Ivana for the tax break? You've all heard of that, right?
Who knows? But okay, this is what I want everybody to take from this podcast. This is what I want you to do.
Apparently, in a cemetery in Palm Beach.
Is it owned by Trump? Is he buried there?
No, but that's what I said. And I hate to I hate to keep switching subjects, but you have heard that Ivana, which is awful. He just is this little mound. There's it's terrible. That's the children of his. That's the mother of his children and his favorite child, Ivanka. So you know what I'm saying is that the way he treats her. But apparently, it's for a tax break and that is true in New Jersey. That if it's somehow a cemetery, you get a huge tax break.
Yes.
And I've seen that he rides his golf cart over it. I've seen the tire tracks.
Oh my
He's
God.
such a piece of...
Okay.
Sorry, guys, but he is.
From this, we're definitely going to have to do a part 2 on Epstein. We can really dive
I feel like we could do
because there's a lot
parts.
of other foreign nations that are connected here, too, that I just need to do more research on.
Yeah, do you have any little bit of tidbits for us?
So we know that... So we have... Okay. So far, the players that we've mentioned, it's going to be Russia, Israel, Saudi Arabia, there is a British intelligence or military person. So now we have 4 plus the United States. I've heard that there's more. And so I just want to do a little bit more research on that. However, from this video, I want everybody to, just chime in. Yeah. Why do you think that...
Please let us know this so we can have some, look into those questions or those ideas too, because we're just 2 people here. Give us some info. Let's discuss. Agreed. Sorry,
yes.
Didn't interrupt.
So why do you think that Trump went from saying there was a list to there's no list? And what do you think that the releasing of the redacted grand jury testimony is intended to do, and why they're doing that? And then second, do you think he's dead? Yes or no?
And if he's not, what do you think happened?
Where is he? Yeah.
And if he is, what do you think happened? Who did it? Was it suicide? Was it nefarious endings for him?
Take us on your crazy train.
Yeah, let's ride the train together.
Yeah.
We love to ride the train. Join us.
I think once we get through Epstein, I think a very interesting topic that we should discuss is just Israel itself and their influence in American politics and when it started. Because during JFK's administration, they were researching some nonprofit organizations here, and then that stopped.
Well, and not only that, but with the whole thing when the October 7th for Israel is like our 9/11, a little different, but everybody knows when you say October 7th what that means, and how they were attacked by Hamas, I forgot where I was going with this.
Oh, well, and also Candace Owens lost her job for speaking negatively about Israel. So, okay, so we have these figures, right? You can't speak negatively about Israel. Israel gives a lot of politicians money. Everybody knows that.
That took me back. I'm sorry. Thank you for filling in for me for a second while I forgot. October 7th, well, we are very connected with Israel, and we support Israel, and we give money and all of that, but there were votes being taken, and certain senators, and I don't recall offhand who or what party, were voting a certain way, and it was dug into, they dug into their donors, and a lot of it was
Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is just a shame, because they should be voting to better our lives regardless. And so I'm a big fan of, no money in politics, but that ship has sailed clearly.
I think so. This is how we'll do it. Next episode will be Epstein number 2.
Yes. This isn't going away, and it shouldn't. So I think we'll revisit it along the way. I think we can do a part 2, and also, there may be 3, 4.
After that, I want to dive into Israel, and let's talk about how far they've been involved and what they're doing. Yep. Yeah. I do know there was propaganda going on in the 70s about Israelites that were here to get people against Muslims back in the 70s even. So, I do want to dive into them and their connection, and we can tie it all back into Epstein. But thank you for joining us on today's episode, and we'll be back.
Yeah, give us those questions. Give us your thoughts, because we're going to do a part 2, and we want to incorporate those. Thanks again. And once again,